All right, thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell for notifications, and of course, participate in the conversation by commenting down below and upvoting the video stuff. We're here with Tom Vanderford. We're talking Ole Miss football today. The portal's getting ready to close. There's rumors going around everywhere. Tom, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. You're right. There are rumors everywhere.
Yeah, it's one of those things. At the end of a window, rumors go. I mean, you even have Garrett Riley to Clemson that just hit as before we recorded this, and that could be an affecting thing for like Walker Howard, who might be visiting Ole Miss. It could change some stuff up with 5 days left in the transfer portal window. It'll be really interesting to see what goes on, Tom.
Oh yeah, it will. And I, with my past, with our past impressions of Mr. Kiffin, it would not surprise me if we don't know everybody that we got out of the portal until they show up on campus.
Well, that's the way that coverage has gone. I mean, they get about 50% right, and then afterwards, well, yeah, these other four names were here as well. And that's just because of how buttoned up they are. Yeah.
Exactly. And I personally like that. It's almost like having Christmas all over again for people like me. You know, you're waiting to see what's under the tree, right? And so I'm excited. There are a lot of people out there in the portal that could help us. I trust the staff to get the ones we need. The good thing about when you have coaches that make a lot of money, there's a lot that's expected of them, and they know that. So the pressure's on, and they're gonna do the best they can do to keep those checks rolling in. So I'm just gonna sit back and watch it and enjoy it. One thing I will say though, I don't see us. I see a lot of 5-star folks popping into the portal all of a sudden, and I don't see us really as a player for a whole lot of them. I think he's being, just like last year, he said he treated it like free agency and wanted to make sure that the players were a fit with the team. And there were problems with that anyway. But I think he's a little more cautious, and he's going about it even more secretively than he did last year, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and last year, if you look at it, from this point on, I think there was like until May and June, and there was like 10 players or so that Lane Kiffin signed after this date last year. So with the portal windows being the tight window that it is now, it's going to change. It's going to cause people to do things a little bit differently. We'll see exactly how it plays out, but I think we told people going into this isn't last year. And from year to year, your needs change. But we weren't swimming in the high dollar waters of a starting quarterback, a starting left tackle. Those positions that you look at, we weren't in those waters. We're looking for a backup quarterback, yes, but not a starting guy. One of those guys that would command $1 and $2 million for signing. We're not looking for that. What Kentucky got with Devin Leary, that's not the waters we're in. But you look at what we've done in their skill positions, especially wide receiver, between the transfer portal and recruiting and tight end, and you take running backs in the position, it's hard not to imagine that skill position wise, we're not exactly where we need to be.
Yeah, we've got. I think Aiden Williams is going to be a star. Of course, this is sometimes we're wrong. I thought Braylon Brown was going to be a star at Ole Miss, but I think Aiden Williams is going to be a star. I think Sunterian Perkins is going to be a star. I think Perkins starts from day one. That's just my opinion somewhere. In a Tony Connor type role or as an outside linebacker or whatever the case may be. If we end up going to a 3-4, I look for him to be an outside linebacker, and I look for it escapes my mind, ought to be shot. Our TCU transfer linebacker last year.
Corey
What's
Coleman.
that kid's name again?
Corey Coleman
to be another outside linebacker, yeah. So, and Jean Baptiste and and players to be named later to be the two middle guys. But if we do go to a 3-4, that's cool. We've got the personnel now to do different things. When we went to the 3-2-6 originally, the main reason we went is we had a ton of defensive backs, not very many linebackers, not very many SEC caliber defensive linemen. So it was out of necessity in the beginning, and we may still see that this year. We just don't know. Everything's going to depend on who we get in for DC. If the rumors are true that Partridge and Crum are gone, so if that's the case, Partridge gone, Crum gone, safety coach gone to Purdue. So that opens up some spots on the defensive side.
Yeah, and the rumors going around the fan base, everybody's heard the Pete Golding stuff, but when it comes to hiring a coach, I trust Lane Kiffin implicitly. He gets things right a lot more than he gets wrong. We'll be able to see exactly what they are able to do recruiting-wise. Now, I think what is going on, the reason it is slow playing, I think, is that staff change that could happen. And it could happen tomorrow. It could happen Thursday. I don't know when exactly what will happen. But the later in the transfer portal window it happens, it gives players less a chance to make an emotional decision. I talked about that earlier. And since there's an end of the window, I think people are honestly trying to game the system, for lack of a better word. And because of that, I mean, you could have a good team. They're hoping to as little attrition as possible, because if you look at the defense, and if the rumors are true about Crum and Partridge, Davidson Igbinosun, Tysheem Johnson, Isheem Young, Taiwan Malone, those are just 4 players from the Northeast that Chris Partridge had a major hand in recruiting. He also did a lot of work in Georgia. So there's players that are attached to him. So they're going to be careful about what is going on there. So we'll see exactly how this works. But somebody like, if Pete Golding does in fact take this job and come over to Oxford, I don't know that attrition will be that, because of the pedigree of getting the defensive coordinator at Alabama, who was wanted by Nick Saban. He might not have been wanted by random fan in section 305, seat 13, but Nick Saban was wanting him back, offering him a 3-year contract. He's an excellent X's and O's guy. If that guy can come to Ole Miss, I think the attrition can be limited.
Oh, I think so too. And I think you can only recruit so many guys. So you never know. There may be some guys out there that Alabama passed on that are really good kids, and Golding may have some of those. You just never know. Yeah, if he comes, you never know what's going to happen. So that's what makes it so exciting. We'll find out around the 19th, some of it, and like you said, it'll filter in. It'll filter in even past spring ball, because I guarantee you we'll get 1 or 2 people out of the portal after spring ball. One of them, I hope, is Smith. If he can make his grades, I hope one of them's Smith.
Yeah, indeed. And, looking at this is one of my most favorite times of year. And a lot of that is because of the transfer portal. But a lot of it is because of just the chaos that all the coaches changes and all that cause as well. And now with the transfer portal window, the coaching changes are getting back later and later, so that the transfer portal is not affected. And you have this nice little 1 week of just absolute chaos. And I love it. I hate that they will do something that would make that go away potentially, because I love it.
Well, and like you said, we don't know. Mm-hmm. For example, Spencer Sanders, he may end up a Rebel. Mm-hmm. But he tried to go back to Oklahoma State, and they were like, "Nah, it's all right."
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
The rumor out in the Twitterverse is some money had been raised to keep him in Oklahoma State, and Gundy said, "No, it's all right."
Yeah,
for whatever that's worth.
Coaches need to realize, and I think they will eventually, there's just some coaches that are fighting against this transfer portal and this new wave of college football and stuff like that. And you'll see that that will be a detriment to your program. It's going to take somebody like Mike Gundy for that program to just go down the toilet, him to lose his job, and everybody go, it was probably the transfer portal that did it, for a full, complete adoption of what's going on.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It just is what it is. Anyway, thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. Make sure to check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, hear from big-name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Doubt you'll hear much about Ole Miss this year on there. Locked On College Basketball. It's available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Tom, thank you so much for stopping by. We'll have this up for the weekend that hopefully everybody can watch. But when it comes to rumors in the transfer portal, get ready for a lot of them. It's going to be exactly what you're hoping for, and it's going to be awesome. Also, good luck to Tom tomorrow. He gets his port out. Going to be really good for him. I hope everything goes well. Praying for you there, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.